on the edge about to fall. Don't know if you like to see me out there in need while I'm struggling to breathe on my own. I won't turn my back on you, 'cause your love's the only one I know. Just one more chance is
Then Tomek has got into his grid box, ready for this Grand Prix to start. Fingers crossed we don't have a 6-year delay on this lights out. Have to wait and see.
You said Dougie's in the wrong team as well, didn't you?
Yeah, he should be in house.
Yeah, that might cause issues if there is a safety car or something that, you know, we'll see.
Well, lights are on then here in Vietnam. It's about to go green. It's go time. Everybody's still sat in the grid boxes because they have got the 6-year delay. There we go, finally. Tomek also with the Alphas have had a bit of an issue. Is that Brook? Brook just looked like he was stuck. He couldn't move there. He's lost so much time. Tomek is under pressure from Zones. He's going around the outside. This is huge for him coming into it. He can get the better exit. He can get the better run. And I think Zones will take race lead. Top Tom's up to P3. And this is going to be a fantastic run here. Tomek is going for a move on Zones. This is to regain race lead. Zones does not want to surrender this, but Tomek has actually turned off his ERS, so surely Zones can go for the move here into the braking zone. He's looking for it down the inside. He's backed out a little bit earlier than Tomek. I think Tomek was just a bit more confident on the brakes, and Top Tom is watching all of this go down. Oh, Chan and Brownie, they're locked together. They've managed to free themselves. A little bit of contact again, and Brownie's in the wall. Chan's also just clipped him as well. There's definite wing damage there for Brownie. Issues all round.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if it looks like Chan might have some damage as well. So yeah, that's both the cars with some wing damage.
Is that Vanya? Vanya just gone off into the wall? Oh, they're into the pits, sorry, they're into the pits. We've got a couple of guys in the pits, and Brownie and Vanya.
Brownie and Vanya.
They started on the mediums. This is not ideal for them, and it seems that you have to go a two-stop strategy. As here comes Brownie, that's a big lunge on the inside there of Exit. He's made that move work just about. The hard tyres there of Exit are not really favoured. Oh, Get On and Top Tom, they've just swapped places. It was a bit of a late lunge there from Get On. Top Tom read it and he backed out, but they lost so much time because of to the race leaders, because of Get On's trying to make that move there in the braking zone. We talked about this earlier with Safto.
Yeah, I don't think he is going to be able to keep this.
Safto's got the DRS wing wide open. Are we going to see a squabble into the braking zone again? We've seen it before. Puny's trying to defend the inside. That was a very late move, but I think that was just within the limits. And Hammertime's trying to capitalize. He's trying to get around the outside. He could not make that work. And his teammate Brownie just slips on through on the inside, and he's on the softs that a 6th lap hold. And now Safto, oh, that's Brownie going down the inside. Very well executed. And Dougie under threat here from Danico, who's on these mediums that are much more comfortable in the softs. So Dougie is running. Danico's going to have to go around the outside into the second to last corner. It's a very awkward one to get through, and Dougie just about manages to keep him behind for now, but they're losing time. This battle up ahead of them, where he could be closing in onto Top Tom and Higgsy, as here comes Danico in towards turn 1. This is going to be a whole car ahead by Shaw. Is he? Yes, yep, he is. Through comes Ghetto on Higgsy, then he's not going to wait here. You know he's not. He's going to get much later on the brakes here, but he has to stop the car in time, and I think he's just about done that. Yes, indeed. Get on. Very well. Oh, sorry, Zones has gone for a move around the outside here on Tomek. He's actually given him plenty of space, and Tomek has not. Tomek has actually given him a little bit of a nudge onto the outside line there, but Tomek is hanging in there in race lead as Zones is trying to fight his way through. There was a bit of contact between them, and surely he's going to get the inside line here. He cannot get the exit he needs. Tomek will hold on to race lead for now.
Pretty easy down with the DRS.
Say that, but that's Tomek defending the inside. A bit of a weave there from Tomek. That might be a little bit naughty from him there, and he's going to return the favour as he did last lap round, but a little bit of mistake there from Tomek, and more mistakes there from Tomek. This is surely going to allow Zones through. He's got the inside for the right-hander. There's nothing that Tomek can do. A bit of a lock up there from Zones, but that's not going to stop him from being race leader. But we'll see. as the DRS is coming up now. So he's actually going to need it. He might actually need it even more so as we come into it. That is a lot of pace there that Brownie's got on his car. Coming into the braking zone, it's going to be Dougie trying to stick his nose in, I think. No, he's decided to sit back, and that's the right decision to make. You do not want to put yourself in a position where you're compromising your run through the corner. Yeah, the zones has got no answer to this because it's all about the battle of the braking zones, and I think realistically, Tomek having that little bit further edge ahead of Tomek, means he will take race lead, taking the fastest lap away from what was Top Tom's. Brownie, is he trying to let Copy through? That was a bit of a squeeze there from Brownie. Very nearly put Copy into the wall, and Uni on the back of this. He's going to try and get Copy and Brownie both at the same time.
It's actually very fast. It's like 1.2 seconds faster than the leaders, so very well done from him.
Oh, here comes Huni around the outside of Brownie. Brownie's managed to keep himself in this, but that's going to force Huni off the circuit. I don't think there was much more that Brownie could have done there, if I'm being honest. He's surely going to have to pass Tomek. There's not a lot that he could do here. He knows he's faster out of that corner and into this braking zone. Tomek does not want to attack this at all. Would not benefit anybody if he did, and he's decided to sit behind him. Zones' penalty is actually going to be removed or not, because if it isn't going to be removed, then he's fine. And I don't think it will be, but if Tomek has it in his mind that he might actually get it removed, as they come into the braking zone, they are going to go side by side once more. Top Tom, of course, has retired, as we kind of expected that. Into the pit lane he went and took himself out of the Uni then on Copy. Despite his 1-1 wings, it looks like he is going to get overtaken by Huni in the DRS, but he's got no ERS to keep himself alive. Copy can just bide his time. There's a couple of laps to go.
3-second gap that some of them we need to close on this lap. So,
unless Get gets another one. But here comes Tomek then through the final corner now. This is for the race win, and congratulations to Tomek for securing a beautifully executed P1. The zones cross line takes P2. Obviously, passing penalty kind of really shot his race in the dirt. He would have probably sat behind as Getund. Oh, that's a big mistake there from him. This could actually allow some idiot to come through. That's a puncture there for Getund on the rear left tyre. That's why he's struggling for pace. Suddenly, the gap is there. He's got it. He's in the 6 seconds. That's if I'm right. Does he have the penalty that he needs? He doesn't. I was wrong. It's only a 3-second time penalty, and Samidia is just about off. But Getund literally took the tyres to the very edge and just about clung on to that final podium position. That was a bit of a scare there for Getund.
I mean, we have been saying that McLaren are effectively the Mercedes of this league, and that's get on to doing his best Bottas impression, and then or Hamilton even. What you take your pick on which one he was playing at there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Rwagnation League Grand Prix here in China. It was round 4 at the Shanghai International Circuit, and it is a beautiful circuit to be on indeed. I'm Ben Raggy McConnell, and joining me, as always, is Mr. Horn Badger himself. How you doing?
I'm doing really well, yeah, excited to get going. There's some good F2004 cars there, so I'm excited to see what can happen in these F1 cars.
Good is an understatement. This is the circuit that we're going to be driving on today. 3.3 miles in total with 16 turns and 2 DRS zones. The first one is going to be the most crucial one because that run in towards the final hairpin is going to be probably the main overtaking area on the circuit. But this is how the championship standings look as follows. Get On is currently leading it on 55 points with his teammate there behind him in 43, tied with Zones, who's in third, and then Brownie, some idiot copy, Yanab, Daniko, Top Tom, and I believe that was Yonti at the end. Yolta is the best of the rest. He's in P11 with Chan in 12th, Rainbow 13th, Higgsy 14th, Brooke, Dennis, the Alphas in 15th, 16th, and they're struggling. In terms of the constructors, you can see they're all the way down there in P9 with 0 points. McLaren, though, are at the top by a mile as it stands with 113 points. Mercedes are going to have a lot to do if they want to bring it down. And this is exactly how they could do it with Yonti giving us a rundown of how this circuit works. It's a long run up towards turn 1. It's a long, snaily right-hander. You want to be slowing the car down, but not too fast, because otherwise you'll lose a lot of time, and you don't want to do that. You want to carry the momentum as much as you can in towards turn 2 then, and then get a nice, safe exit. Don't lose the rear, because if you do, you're going to shave off a lot of tenths when it comes to this qualifying session, and potentially leave yourself vulnerable for the race. Turn 3 is that little kink there on the right side, and then turn 4 is a long right-hander here. Slow it right down, get yourself up. Now into the S section. You want to try and carry the pace as much as you can through this long left-hander, and then you want to slow the car down for the right, but don't slow it down too much because you will start to have issues. Make sure you get the double left-hander just right on the exit. This is very important that you do this well, because you're coming into arguably the most important section on this circuit. I know the frames are skipping slightly. This is a video issue rather than my issue. However, we are going through the long right-hander now onto the back straight. This is the most important straight here. The toe is going to be enormous. The DRS is going to be enormous. The overtake button is going to be used and be enormous. And then we come into a very heavy braking zone. You're going to look for the Rolex board on left-hand side and brake right as that happens, and then get yourself down the gears. Get yourself down to gear 1 to get the rotation. Gear 2, 3 very quickly on the exit to go smoothly up towards the final corner, then brake where the fence starts, and then get yourself clipped on that inside curb, get the exit of the dreams, and onto another DRS home straight for more crazy action. But Mr. Horn Badger, we are here already in the qualifying. I need from you your top 3 prediction, please.
Okay, always throwing us under the bus, so let's have a look. I think, you know, so far, Top Tom, Get Owned, and Brownie have all really showed themselves. Camille, we know, is a fast driver as well, so Copy's been up there. I would, you know what, I think I'm going to throw Zones up in P1. I'll say Get Owned in P2 with Camille in P3.
All right, well, I mean, it's a fair shout. Yanab is going to be the first on the board then with a 129.991. That will not be pole time. I can almost guarantee you that. As Yonti has already beaten it by a 129.909. Even that won't be pole. There you go. That's a bit more like it. Some idiot with a 129.509. He's already... They are all come flying into this final few corners. Rainbow's put himself on there as well. He's got his teammate coming to line. Vexit on pole position, or provisional at least, with a 129.407. There is one driver, Chan, who's out there on the medium compound tyres.
Yep, I was going to bring your attention to that, but he's actually, he did invalidate, so I think he's backed out of this already. So we'll see what he does. If he comes in, wants to go and try again, but it'll be interesting if he sticks on it. Maybe he just sits in the banker time, works out what he could potentially do on the mediums if he doesn't invalidate the time, and then make a decision from there. He's went a little bit deep there into the hairpin.
I'm not actually on board with him. He's actually invalidated according to my screen, so back into the pits for him then. He will not be continuing this lap. This is also a circuit where it's actually really possible to get a massive toe down that back straight. We've seen teams like Williams do it. We've seen teams like Renault do it in the previous season. Both the teammates are still here, so Yolta and Brownie. Yolta has actually returned for this race. He did have a bit of school stuff kicking off, which is why he couldn't participate in the final one. But look, Yolta, this is exactly what I was talking about. The toe is being given here. You got Red Bulls doing it, you got the Haas drivers doing it, and now you have the Renault drivers as well doing it hard into this very tight hand. A bit of a lockup on the right side. Shouldn't really affect him too much coming into it. And I think we're going to be seeing a few 28s here, although the Haas drivers have brought themselves into the pits. One of them has. That was Yonti who's coming in, and then Safso put himself on the board. Brownie, despite the toe, didn't look that good.
Yeah, I mean, the Red Bulls kind of really messed up the toe there. They were side by side along that long right-hander. So I'm not too sure if they were even attempting it, but right now Vig's at P1 anyway, so. I'm just looking around. Zones is also stuck on the medium tyres, so let's see if he's able to do anything with that. But this is just his outlap, so he will not be setting up the timing boards yet, but we'll see what he does once he's on his flyer.
Yeah, I mean, there are quite a lot of people that haven't yet started time on the board, actually. What is that, 8 people, I think? They've not yet done so? 7? 8? 8. Can't count. You know, I mean, it is what it is. These guys obviously have been out and done a couple of laps. Didn't quite work out. Some of them I'm not quite surprised by. Camille, he's not really been... Well, I've not seen him drive in quite a while. He's obviously not been in the season at all. He's making his first return today. This is not a permanent thing. He's just filling in for Mr. Tomic, who currently is having issues with his game because he has some abnormal situation in comparison to the others.
Yep, hopefully we'll be able to get that fixed shortly, but for the moment it's causing him too many problems and he's not able to effectively launch the game correctly, so hopefully that will get resolved and he'll be back with us next week, but we'll wait and see.
So, there are a couple of people that I usually see at the front. I'm looking at Zones, I'm looking, well, I guess maybe Camille to an extent. Get Owned is one of those as well. These guys have not yet obviously put a time on the board. But Vexa is very fast. 129.4. I am expecting us to get into the 28s at some point.
Ooh. That's one of the alphas there in the wall. I think it's Azia. You saw him do that several times in the Ferrari's last race as well. So, yeah, he really needs to work on just easing in the throttle a little bit there, because it's always these long turns he seems to be spinning the car out at.
Alright then, well, Azia limping back to the pit lane, that's for sure. He's also going to be Chan, who's out currently on a hot lap. He's got a lot of work to do though. I mean, he obviously tried to do those medium compound tires, they didn't work at all. He's going to have a little bit more to do here. And these soft tires, I think he's got it. I think he's got the pace, but he has got an issue with consistency. This is something that a lot of these people who are naturally very quick in the qualifying, I see them quite frequently being inconsistent. You know, it's all right being good in the one lap pace, that's fantastic. But if you can't replicate that in the race, or at least something near that, lap after lap after lap, it's kind of pointless. It's just going to backfire, and you're going to fall down the order through to penalties, maybe even more.
Yes. It's something that you see a lot now, especially with the kind of digital age. You know, you can get a lot of practice in on your own, just doing the time trials and trying to perfect your lines and everything. But as soon as you go, you know, wheel to wheel, that's where people start to struggle.
Here we go then. Chan has started a proper lap now. I think that must have been a formation lap that he hadn't done before. I didn't show as an out lap for me, but he is apparently still on lap 0. Is that right for you?
Chan looks like he is. This is going to be his flyer just starting.
Yeah, but he hadn't set a time before, had he, on the mediums?
No, he didn't. He did not.
So he must have done a lap time on these tires then.
Strange.
Oh, yeah, very odd indeed. The Zones has done a time, but it is on the medium compound, so it's a 133.194. He's out there again. Is that the same medium compound, potentially? Maybe the telemetry's all bugged up, because it's showing everyone's on zeros. Oh, there we go. Yonti's done one, and he's actually in P2. That is good. I didn't think he was going to be that quick here today, but this is a good sign.
Yeah, it's a good time there, and I'll just I've got the telemetry up on the mother screen. So Yonte and Brownie, that was 2 laps that they've done. Higgs is also on 2, and pretty much everyone else is on 1, apart from Get Owned, who's still on these 0 laps. So this will be his kind of first one coming up now, as he's just rounding onto that back straight.
Yeah, this is quite important for him. Oh, we have a notification that there is no rain expected this whole race weekend. So, good stuff. We actually have the usual comrades, our good friends Danico and Copy. They're giving each other the toe, and it didn't quite work out how they wanted it to. So Copy Didn't quite give Danica the full length toe he needed. The exit was a bit slow there for him. He will have to work a little bit harder to bring himself up at the front of the grid if he's going to want to do this. Obviously, Red Bull guys are going to probably be doing this. I think we're almost guaranteed to be seeing the Renault boys complete a lap. Danica still, having said that, he still gets himself up in a P3, only 0.04 of a second away from Tom.
Yeah, to be honest, I think a lot of the drivers aren't actually utilising the tow right now. So even just getting an ineffective tow, you know, a mildly effective tow, that does give you still that extra bit of bonus. And his Sector 3 is actually purple from anyone else. So despite not having the full utilisation of that tow, he still went faster than anyone else through there.
Well, the Williams have done a very different tow level here. I don't think this is quite the way you were meant to do that, but some idiot has still given a slight bit of a tow to Yenab. Bit of a lock up on the right hand side as he came into that final hairpin, but not really going to be that much of a problem right now. The issue is going to be when we get into this race. I'm going to see some idiot do the alternate strategy where he's going to try softs mediums. I can almost guarantee you that because that is his usual go-to. He has, however, brought himself back into the pits because he is almost 2 tenths away from current pole sitter, which is Vexit still with a 129.197.
Yeah, I'm just wanting to keep an eye here on Brownie. He's just going for it right now on this corner to the straight. And yeah, P4, that was a really good time there from Brownie. Just too shy off the podium places, but we'll see if he's able to just pull himself a little bit. I don't think he had to tow from anyone there, so he was all on his lonesome out the back straight, so he could certainly gain another 10th or 2, just getting a little help from Yalta.
Copy to the line then. He got the tow from his teammate, and I couldn't say, oh, he got a hell of a tow from his teammate, a 129.140. Is this the same copy we see week in, week out? Because it doesn't look like it to me. This looks like a new and improved copy.
Yeah, that was incredible. And but again, he actually never had the fastest Sector 3. That still goes to Danny. So 2 tenths down in that Sector 3, so he potentially could break it into the 128s.
I think it's time. I think it's actually time. I'm going to call it.
Let me just get a drink and I'll just get ready to celebrate.
Yeah,
right.
Okay, cool.
After you.
Here's a toast to the calm before the storm, which is exactly where we're at right now, as majority of the drivers are, in fact, in the pits, prepping themselves for that final push. Chan has decided he's going to break the groove and go out early and actually try and do a lap now. So, yep, clear a track, free air. He already was struggling anyway when he had the free air earlier on. He is going to need to sort of keep himself contained this time round. A 129.678 is not going to be enough, but he only has to gain a 10th, and he's already in the firing line of looking at Vanier. He'll need to gain slightly more than that to beat him, but I mean, again, a couple tenths, and he's straight on the likes of Yonti and Rainbow. Bear in mind, Yonti's lap time when he did it was actually a P2. So
yeah, it's very
this
tight
is pretty close.
Very tight at the top, and as I say, that doesn't look like a lot of the teams have actually been utilising the slipstream too well. So if they can get that nice and tight for these final runs, we might actually see, as I say, people creeping into the 128s.
So Chan then, the first of the people actually out there already doing a hot lap. He's going to be putting a time on right ahead of Zones, who normally qualifies very well. Especially did last week out. Is he going to be able to beat him again? Well, Chan first. Here he comes to the line. He goes on pole. And that's without the tow. Can Zones respond? Here he comes then to the line. He cannot. Zones, uncharacteristically, in P15, this is not looking to be a circuit he does very well at. So, I mean, he's got a chance to go again. Oh, does he? He might not, actually. I know that there is an extra 40 seconds or thereabouts between what we see and what the drivers see. So they get more time than what we are actually seeing. So there might still be a chance. But Chan...
He won't be able to get the new tyres, unfortunately.
Will he not?
No, not if he's to go, like, it'll take him 1 minute 50-ish to get into the pits and then, you know, get back out. He's not going to be able to get the new tyre, so he'd have to go again on his next lap.
Well, we shall wait and see. I mean, it's very much a open-ended question. We don't exactly know how much the gap actually is in terms of what we see and what they see. We know that it is off kilter. We'll worry about that a bit later because here comes Higgsy to the line. His teammate went Paul. Can he get near it? No, he cannot. 1:29.528 will put him in a P12. And here we have, I think, a Safsa come into the line. Yes, it is. He has done a lap time, but it's slightly slower than what he did previously.
Interesting about Chan's lap as well is he actually didn't take the shortest run on the home straight. He did the natural race line to drift back over to the left, so he could have went a little bit quicker if he just stayed right. But still, that's a very good time, and I am kind of hoping we see someone beat him though, and just see if we can get that magical 1:28 time.
Somebody got a massive toe from Yenab. I mean, I said that earlier, and he didn't quite pull in the lap time that he needed. Here he comes through the final corner then to the line. Is this going to be the new pole time? It is! Oh, that's a huge leap forward, a 1:29.002. This is going to be an insane Grand Prix.
Yep, and Copy and Danny trying the toe here, but I think they've just done it, fired off a little bit too late, and Danny's got right up to the back of him before the braking zone. And it's still going to be a good toe. He manages to lock up a little bit there, but just clips the apex, and so he should be able to keep running this in and getting in a really good lap time here.
Yeah, to the line then. It's a 1:28.29. He goes better. He is P3 by just 5 thousandths of a second, which is just crazy to even imagine. We've got more people coming to the line then. That is Yolter, I believe, who's just started his hot lap. We've got a Ferrari coming to the line, which is Cuny. That's to finish. He goes P7, so an improvement for him. We have now a Alfa Romeo, which is Azia. He's done a 1:31.1. We're still yet to see Camille get a time on the board. He is about to start his hot lap, but he has got a bit of traffic ahead of him. That is Dennis, who's also starting his. He's got his teammate behind him. That is Getter, who's also about to start his hot lap. So one of them's not getting the toe, and it looks like it's not going to be Camille. Or either of them, for that matter.
Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, and Vexit! 28.8.
Vexit, are you okay? Because it doesn't look like it to me. That is a very, very quick lap time. I missed that one completely. But Yenab, he gave his teammate the toe, which put him on provisional pole a second ago. Can Yenab now replicate that coming to the line? This is going to be not enough. He's got himself into P12. It's not quite what he wanted. We have a Ferrari. That's Top Tom. He bridges that gap down as well. A 1:28.926, but it's still not enough. We have Copy getting the toe. We saw Copy earlier. When he did this, he got himself onto pole position. Can he now replicate the same action? Get himself onto that top step alongside Vexit. Coming through the final corner. He's backed out. He's not happy with that lap. He's decided enough is enough. I don't want to put it on the top step. And then Vania crosses the line. We have a Renault here too. This is Yolter. He goes up now into P9, which is good for him. That is Rainbow coming through. We have a Ferrari as well. It's not going to be Huny. Yes, it is Huny, sorry. And he's actually on a flyer. So this could be a new time. Nope, it's not. He's backed out.
Get Owned was just unfortunately a little bit too far back to get any of the slipstream from the 4 drivers that were in front of him. But let's see as these all start coming across the line now.
Yep. Dennis the Span, he's lost all of that time that he had gained. Camille to the line, he goes P13, but where does Get Owned go? Into the pits, so he's decided not today. And McLaren, our constructors leaders, who have race after race qualified well and placed well in the race, are both outside of the top 10. I feel like this is intentional.
Well, yeah, that's what Tomic will have you believe. Let's see what happens. I mean, medium tire start then, that seems like a good idea, usually around China. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how they can progress. We know that they'll probably both end up in the points. They're both very good drivers. Let's just see what happens.
I think they've intentionally done this because they know what the softs are like. I think they know that the softs melt away here. So I wouldn't be surprised if they decided, actually, let's just sit back a little bit. Let's go close. Let's not make it look like we're going too fast because we do want to qualify right near the P11, P13 mark And they've done it. They've nailed it. So fantastic to them. But Vexit is your pole sitter today with a 128.885. Top Tom in P2. Literally less than half a tenth between those two. Some Idiot just outside the 10th in P3. Chan P4. Danico P5. Copy P6. Brownie P7. Huni P8. Yolta P9. Rainbow rounding out the top 10 with Get Un in best of the rest. Yonta P12. Camille P13. Yenab P14. Higgsy 15th. Vania 16th. Zone 17th. Dennis 18th. Safso 19th. And I managed to get them all as Azure gets the final position in this Grand Prix qualifying.
Indeed he does. And now this is where it matters, the race. This is where all the points get divvied out. Let's see what they can do.
Well, that's the thing. You know, it doesn't matter where you place in the qualifying because you gain absolutely 0 points. You get an advantage into the race. That is, or at least majority of people would tell you get an advantage to go into the race. In this race in particular, McLaren seem to believe that starting outside the top 10 is the better strategy. Now, I've doubted them in the past, and I've been proven wrong. I'm not going to doubt them this time because I actually believe what they've done has to be one of the biggest brain plays ever. I don't doubt they're going to start on hard tyres. I highly doubt they'd start on mediums. That seems to be like the wrong decision here. As one of them has. Camille's gone for the hards. Get Un has gone for the mediums. So they're doing inverse strategies of each other. This is interesting.
Makes sense for Get On to be on the faster tyre if he's in front as well. So, and to be honest, we've seen Get On in the last race. He really pushed the tyres quite far. So maybe he thinks that he's got the tyre wear down and he will be able to take these mediums to a point where they're comfortable before he has to switch over. But you would expect that it would be very difficult to push onto the softs from now.
Well, yeah, definitely from a mediums to softs. I mean, somebody who will probably try is some idiot. He is the man who likes to do that, push the softs much further than anyone else, get onto the medium compound tyre and take that to the end. But this is a circuit where the softs just absolutely get destroyed here. But just going back onto what you said about Get Earned, yes, he is somebody who they did push the tyres quite far in Vietnam. He actually pushed them too far, in fact. He got himself a puncture on the final lap, so he did lose a lot of time. He still held his position, luckily.
A puncture on the final turn, I would say that was calculated to perfection.
No, a puncture when you hit the line is calculated to perfection. That's the only way I'll accept that, I'm sorry. Right, well, Vexit is obviously leading us round and coming to the closing stages of this qualifying. I just need to check Higgsy another invite really quick because apparently he has issues. He will be able to rejoin. He won't be able to take control of his car until after the lights go out. So expect an AI start from him. That is the only way that he can kick this one off, as far as I know. But yeah, it's interesting to see such a variance of strategy on the tyres outside of this top 10. You know, it's very split. Half of them have gone mediums, half of them have gone hards. I think those that are on the hards have actually gone for the right decision, because if a safety car comes out in the first few laps, the soft tyres are going to come in, almost guaranteed. The hards can stay out and actually just carry on and gain places in physical track position. And then later in this Grand Prix, they can then decide, well, the safety car was out for this length of time, I could go into the softs. But here we go then. They are all into their grid boxes. The lights are on here in China. It's going to be Vexit leading us off the start, and he has to get to the inside for the run into turn 1 because it is a very long snaily section. And it's go time here. Vexit has got that run just nicely off the start. No wheel spin from anybody, actually. I didn't see anybody having any issues, but somebody is being swamped here. He's going to have cars on the inside, cars on the outside. Chana Kinchi is trying to stick his nose in the inside. He's actually lost out and he has got himself alongside the Danico, but he will have the inside line coming into it, and that's allowed Chan to stick there. Brownie actually getting himself involved as well. He's trying to get in between the racing points, which he's done exactly. And if he can get a move done on Danico, oh, this is a hard lunge into the hairpin. Oh, that was a very well stopped car, but that looked like it was going to be suicide there for a second. It gained him nothing, but it definitely wore those tires down.
Yeah, and I don't know if Higgsy's had a mistake there, but he's right at the back now. He's dropped a few positions. As there's the general midfield battles. Dennis looks like he's gained a couple of places, but he's just losing one right now to zones. So there's a little bit of bumping and grinding there, and Dennis manages to withhold the position from from zones, and we'll see if they can keep this battle going.
I see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. And here we go then onto the back straight. Again, I said this before, this corner is the most important corner on this circuit because of how big the toe is. And Vexit has actually done a very good job here of breaking himself quite far up the field. There is a bit of a battle here between Safso and Azia as they are drag racing it down into the final hairpin. Hard braking zone is needed here. It looks like Azzy's going to try and stick it around the outside. He's not quite got the run of dreams. Although Safso looks like he's had a bit of a bug down. Azia is going to be on the inside here for the final corner. Azia has got the position as Safso decides to back out of there. Some idiot somehow gets the fastest lap here.
That seems like a glitch. The fastest laps for me just came up as Higgsy with 30-second lap time.
Yeah, I've just seen that as well. That's not good for him. Dennis has lost a position to Zones, who's finally made that move stick. He's on the harder compound as well, so the fact that he's doing this just shows the difference in pace between Zones and Dennis Vyers. Zones up to P15 though. For him to get to the end of this Grand Prix very comfortably, he's going to have a really rough time.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the, as you say, the gap there from Vexit. He's managed to break this down to just over a second, and if he can keep pushing this and get a little bit more of a buffer, he should be safe from the DRS when it becomes active.
Danico's made a massive mistake there, gets very tail happy on the exit and then goes wide as a result, and that allows Brownie on through, and now it's Racing Point 6-7. Brownie is leading this little train and he needs to get a move on because he's 1 second past Chan, and Chan is very much in the DRS tow for what is race leader. Although our race leader Vexit, if the telemetry on the left is to be believed, which it is a bit premature, we're not yet on lap 3, so we're not quite as accurate as we needed it to be necessarily, but he is outside that 1 second margin.
I can guarantee you that he is outside that 1 second margin with the other telemetry I have open. That gap is correct.
Well, that is good stuff. Get Earned, who started in P11, is up to P9 and on those medium compound tyres. So this is great news for him. He's going to be loving life out there right now. He just needs to work on Huni as quick as he can. Huni obviously on the softs. They are going to be worn, no doubt, from the qualifying that they did. Whereas Get Earned will be on brand spanking new mediums. And yeah, give it a couple more laps. These mediums will be so much faster than these softs. I don't think any of the soft drivers are going to have a response to Get Earned.
Nope, not at the moment. You can see that Huni's locking up almost every turn. So Get Earned can smell the burning rubber in front of him, and he just needs to keep applying that pressure.
How is Vexit this fast? He is honestly so good here. I don't know if, I mean, in fairness. Oh no, Top Tom! Big mistake from there. Gets on the curb, spins the car. Yellow flags obviously being waved for sector 2 and 3, and he is dropping down the order like a stone. He hasn't got a puncture, but he has taken a lot of life out of those tyres. He's side by side now with Zones. Oh, that's Vanya, sorry, not Zones. And that is Vanya up now into P16. Top Tom. One mistake dropped him down the order. His race is going to be very difficult to recover. He needs a safety car.
Yes, he does, but I think he should actually come into the pits right now. If he thinks that he can get those hards to the end, which they should last till the end, I think he should come in now, because right now he's going to be losing a lot of time on those softs. He's on the worst strategy for being at the back of the grid. And this is the time for him to just come in, make the decision, and see if he can make some recovery with a safety car or anything comes out. But he's elected to stay out, try and push these softs a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think coming into the pits was definitely the right strategy call here. But Brownie, he actually lost a position to Chan. Chan went down the inside pretty aggressively. Did get his elbows out. I mean, there was not really a... it wasn't like a touch that sent Brownie off the circuit. Brownie's coming back round the outside into the hairpin. This is going to be a fantastic move if he can make it work, but he's gone very deep into it. It was an ambitious move, but he is fired up today, I can tell you that. Having seen the incident discussion text channel, I know Brownie has a point to prove, not just to everyone else, but also to himself. And I like this Brownie. I like to see fired up Brownie. He is he's very quick.
Yeah, he did go very deep into that last turn there, but you know what, if the tyre didn't lock up there, I think he could have actually made that. I think the lock-up just sent him a little bit too wide, and it was only about half a metre, so he nearly made it, and you can see now he's got the visor down and he's just itching to go. He's going to hunt down Chan, and he's going to get the DRS here and should hopefully get nice and close into the braking zone for the hairpin.
Well, he can't because look at Danica. Danico's coming right down his inside. He's got so much more pace because of that toe that he had. Brownie might still come down the inside here too. He's going to, yep, he's keeping his nose in there. In fact, not only is he doing that, he might get the exit he needs. He just cannot. He took it a bit too tight, lost all that momentum. And this is a circuit where momentum is absolutely key. You lose any momentum of any kind, and you're going to certainly find yourself losing tenths, losing half a second, maybe even seconds if you're really making mistakes. But Brownie, despite how hard he is pushing, I feel like now he's gone from being fast to fast but making mistakes and getting a bit over ambitious, and that's causing him to drop places. Yeah,
I think, Danny looks like he's got very low wings on that car. I mean, the speed difference was insane. Obviously, I had a bit of a double slipstream going, but even so, it was absolutely flying by before he even had the DRS open.
May also be the amount of overtake that was applied. In fact, let's have a quick look at it. Brownie's actually worse off. He's in the teens, or he was in the teens before that braking zone. And Danico is in the 30s, was what he was at up until that point. Azia has made a mistake. He made the same mistake in the F2004 cars earlier. He is still on the circuit and still drivable. But yeah, he is down into dead last and quite the way off. Now, bear in mind, though, oh, Danico, that's a mistake you don't want to make, and Brownie will not hesitate to make a move here. He's right in the gearbox of Danico. Danico will still have DRS, and he has got more ERS to play with than what Brownie has, but Brownie knows the importance of the toe, and he knows how important it is to have the inside line into the hairpin if you can make that run stick. Gets a little bit aggressive on the exit, but we'll give him that one. I think he didn't quite give Danico the nudge he necessarily wanted to give him, and he has kept himself going. Oh, pits. Here comes some idiot into the pits then. Normally, he's the one to wait it out, but he's the one to blink.
And I just want to take a moment to highlight Copy for a second. He's sitting there with 90% on his ERS. He could have made a move there as Danny made the mistake on that back straight. He didn't even activate his overtake button. It's like he's forgot it's there. It's almost at full battery. I wonder what he's saving it for. Maybe he's just planning to have a little hammer time in lap and try and jump him in the pits, but he's literally at 100% battery right now. So interesting why he's saving it so much.
Yeah, but Copy is very much the kind of driver that has impressed me massively. He has the Carlos Sainz Award for never getting any screen time because he doesn't have to. He is the mind game guy. He's the mind master, and I like to see him really throw down the strategy, claim some places, keep it consistent, keep yourself clean, don't get any penalties. And that's very often scored him a high point scoring positions. I've even seen him get podiums as a result of it, so there's still a lot of time to go to the end of this race. Copy, though, is in trouble. He has got the ERS that he can burn out here. Get Ernie's on the back of him. Better toe. ERS is still favoured towards Copy, but Get doesn't even use the ERS in that long run. There's a Brownie, Danico and Brownie moment as Brownie went down the inside on Danico. He's up now into P2 again. Danico is very much in the fight here, and this is destroying their tyres as all of the soft runners bring themselves into the pits. Brownie's going to be the lead car of all of these. Copy has decided, though, he can't pit yet because he would get double stacked with his teammate, and I guess he's not really been in that many battles. His tyres will be in a much better shape.
Yeah, and get on there in the front. But I want to take this moment to petition that any time that you in the future want to say a code Brown moment, you say we're having a little bit of a Brownie moment. I think that is my new favourite line that you've ever said.
Well, on that notice, Brownie and Chan's little incident is under investigation. Who is at fault? We're not exactly sure. I can just tell you that it is being looked into by the stewards. Hopefully we'll have a result from that later, and we'll see where that pans out. We also have another incident being investigated between Brownie and Danico. That was on lap 5 under investigation. I think the first one is more investigating. I think the appeal is towards Chan for Jan pushing Brownie off the circuit. But then there was a retaliation later on that Brownie did on Danico, which I think that is what's being under investigation. We'll see again from the stewards. Brownie's feeling a little bit hot and cold right now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's back there now and right behind Chan. He can try and build up some Again, he's got a little bit clearer, so he can try and build up a little bit of confidence, a little bit of pace, and just consistency, and then see if he can keep pushing. But here's Camille here on Copy. He's just made it overtake under DRS before the braking zone. Again, Copy doesn't seem like he's really trying to defend much, but it looks like he's got a warning light on his dash. So I think his DRS might not be working. Or there's something not working, unless it's saying that he should be coming into the pits. But there's certainly a light on his dash. Copies, but it's just disappeared. So we'll see. He looks like he's deciding to run a little bit longer, but this has worked out, as was predicted, very well for the McLaren boys.
Was that a spanner that you saw? A red spanner?
Yep.
Yeah, that or wrench, sorry. That is to tell him that the pit window's open. That's all that means. So he,
right.
He was basically saying he should really be coming in, as you said you were going to do that on the strategy, but opted against it as Yonsei. Oh, that was a very aggressive lunge down the inside on Copy. It was more the exit that was the problem, and he did clip the back end of Copy. He did back out in time, so he didn't actually cause Copy to rotate. A little bit of a scare, more than anything, but no harm done, no love lost, and I think they'll be continuing this for a little bit longer as Dennis Vyers and Vanier swap places. Dennis is starting to fall down the order, despite the fact that he's on these medium compound tyres. Zones! Oh, that's a mistake! That was very nearly a front wing damage there, but he's got the move done on Yonti, although it's a very late move there, and he's also looking to get Copy. Copy obviously is a sitting duck on these soft compound tyres. I get the impression Copy's looking to take mediums to the end, but here comes Zones there, and it's going to be Yonti as well. Also in this, it's going to be 3 wide all the way down the straight. Zones is closing the door on him. It might actually be very close between him and Copy, and that's still safe as houses. Your Copy's got the inside line. He might even get the exit, get the move back. He has on Yonti. Zones alongside again. They're still going 3 wide. Oh, that was going to be a disaster if they had done, but Copy saves the day by diving into the pits. Zones is up to P3. And Yonti will stay P4 for now.
Yeah, and this is a pretty good recovery from Zones from what was an unexpectedly bad qualifying. So he's doing okay just now. Obviously, he now just needs to settle in, try and recover some ERS, and just slowly take away the lead that the McLarens have got out in front. But this is working beautifully from the McLarens. Both of them sitting around 60% ERS and just able to cruise on until they're to get their pit stops in.
So Vanier in P6 is Yenab that's leading this P5 train right the way down to P8. So it's a nice little 4-car battle. Next, a bit further back, obviously, he is our net race leader with the fact that he pitted first and has started on the soft tyres, gone onto the hards, and he's pretty much ready to take these to the very end. So Midi has decided that that is actually the right strategy to do. I'm going to take this strategy as well and carry my pace through. I'm kind of glad on this occasion that he hasn't opted to go, I'm talking about Smitty here, hasn't opted to go for the same strategy he usually goes for, which is take the softs further, go onto the mediums and take them to the end. I think he realizes just how risky that is on this circuit. You can't afford Yenab! Oh, that was a code brown for him, or a brownie as you like to call it. He went off the circuit due to a little bit of a back-end kick out there, and this actually allowed Dennis to potentially go for a move here on Yenab. They move back over to left-hand side to get the better line into the hairpin. Dennis does a good job of keeping it under control. Vanny runs a bit deep. Yenab on the back of him still, and no change of places just yet. But this is promoting Higgsy a little bit closer to this battle.
Yeah, just a little bit. But obviously these guys are probably going to be running side by side for quite a while, seeing on the tyres that they're on. So depending on how fast it is before Vexit's on the back of them, he could end up getting held up quite a bit.
He could indeed. Yolta getting a 3-second time penalty will not help his cause at all. We've got Chan actually looking at Safso here. Down the inside in turn 1, into turn 2. He's going around the outside here. Lap 3 and 5 incident verdicts. No further action. That was for both Brownie and Chan, and also Brownie and Danikos. No further action has been deemed by the stewards. It's good. I like that. Hard racing. Fair racing, I think, to an extent. There was a bit of a off the circuit, but there's a certain point where you got to choose to back out, and yeah, that's down to for the drivers to determine. But here we are, though. The race battle for best of the rest is with Chan. That is for now. Bear in mind, all of the top 8 have not yet pit, and they will have to pit at some point in this Grand Prix because they have to change compound. That is the rule. Because what do they go on to? Especially if you're on the medium tires. The mediums surely can't go far enough for you to go softs. Here is Brownie on the inside of Safso. Safso has been hung out to dry. Danico, he knows how desperate he has to be in order to get onto Brownie before he runs away. Safso being the roadblock here is not helping Danico's plans at all. But a double car tow means Danico will be so much faster. DRS wing wide open. He hasn't really got the ERS to play with. Safso's coming back at Brownie. Brownie's stuck on the inside. Danico's going to back out a little bit early because he wants to make sure he gets the tight run through here. Can he get the exit he needs? Brownie's going to be held out here if he doesn't get a good run. He has managed to get that. He will stay P12. Oh, there's a bit of a nudge there from Danico. He got caught out by how much Brownie had to brake to make that corner. I mean, Brownie had to do that. That was the only way he was going to make that corner unless he suddenly made a mistake. Rainbow's going through on Safso as well in towards turn 1. I think I can take a breath.
Yeah, it was an interesting move from Brownie. He actually just got past in front just before the DRS activation, and that cost him all the way down that back straight, not having access to the DRS, and it really opened him up to an attack from the guys around him. But he's managed to hold on to that position, and he's hopefully now got a little bit of breathing room, but it's all going to happen again as soon as he gets back to that back straight, not getting in that zone where he can get the DRS himself off Chan.
I love this circuit to commentate on. I hate driving on it because it is so difficult. To be truthfully honest, you have to be really good at maintaining that momentum, and that has to vary every single lap because your tires get more and more worn, and as that happens, you will start to realize that you can't quite drive the same way every lap. It really takes a good skill set to be able to maintain that strength, and it always promotes so much action coming into the final corner, the final hairpin, if you like, and sometimes even into what's turn 1, 2, and 3. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And everywhere else. But Danny's just a little bit too far back this time to make a dive, so Brownie's just had the run through the middle sector that he needed to just get a little bit of a gap. So he's just reeling in Chan ever so slightly. He needs to get within that DRS zone to try and protect himself from those behind him, because Danny, again, DRS is going to come right up to his gearbox, and he's so close. He's using all these ERS, trying to make that move stick, but he's just not within the zone for the braking, and it's frustrating him, it looks like. But again, he'll be able to try again down this back straight as long as he can stay with him in the middle sector.
I mean, the thing to note is the ERS levels of these two. Brownie and Danico have really burnt it down to exactly the same amount. 24% on the exit here. Rainbow is double that. He is very cozy, just chilling in the slipstream, chilling in the DRS. He knows how fired up these two are anyway, because he's witnessed all of the action that's happened out on the circuit. It's now just a case of just maintain your tires. You don't need to send it. You don't need to do any sort of crazy tactics. It's purely let them have their battles, overtake them, use the extra ERS you've got to then pull away, and just keep it like that all the way through. Copy goes for a late lunge on Safso there. He has got himself ahead, but he has cost himself a little bit of time. He's outside of the DRS range of Huni. That means he's under fire. Safso, no! He's lost the back end of the car. I didn't see if there was a bit of a nudge there from Yolta, but he has fallen further down the order now, and that is a mistake and a half, as Yonta getting himself a 3-second time penalty going through that final corner. That has not helped him out whatsoever, and despite Vanya and Dennis coming into the pits, no one's actually gone for any sort of overtakes yet this lap.
Yeah, there was an overtake there from Vexit. He's managed to get, I think it was Higsy on the back straight, so he did manage to move up, and he's now catching up to the back of Yenab. And again, as long as he can keep moving forward and not lose too much time, he won't have any issues staying in front of the McLarens when they eventually come into their pits.
Okie dokie. So, Brownie starting to work his way back to where he was before. Vexit, he is the person who has honestly impressed me on such an obscene level. He is P1 net when everyone else is pit ahead of him, and he is a good 3 seconds and a bit ahead of some idiot, which is really good news. He's almost 4 seconds ahead. That's how good it is. That's when the toe starts to become non-existent by quite a lot. I think 1 second is the bit where you can actually still get in some slipstream. I think 1.2 is where you're going to no longer get it. Obviously, as far back as he is right now, he's not getting anything. No tow, no DRS. He's just going to have to try and manage his pace and somehow bring it back in. But Vexit just looks so much more comfortable. He has the DRS here on Yenab, which is obviously somebody's teammate. And you know the instruction's going to be, Yenab, you must hold Vexit back in order to give somebody a chance at getting this done. But coming onto this home straight, there might not be a chance for Yenab to hold him back.
Yeah, he's got to try and fight him in the corners as much as possible and really slow him down. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's up to some idiot to try and get onto the back of him. As Get Owned here comes into the pits, we'll see where he manages to emerge. It looks like he might just get out behind Chan. If he can maybe get in front of the Renaults, or is it going to be cutting it a bit close? Yeah, just behind Brownie there. So he's got some work to do now if he wants to get back up to those front-running positions. So it's everything he's got now. Just keep going, get to the end of this race as fast as you humanly can.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, so Camille is our now race leader with Zones 3.5 seconds behind, but obviously they do have a lot of work to do to get this properly locked in and get further up the field.
And I hope he's not going to slow down Camille there as he's coming back onto the track, but it should be fine. He's on now. That's what the yellow flag in Sector 3 was. But Camille's just going to be coming up to the back of him now. Might actually gain a little bit of a slipstream here on his unlap.
We have actually got Vexit, who's closed in so much on Yenab that he's now 2/10 behind him. However, some idiot has actually gained a lot of time thanks to Yenab doing the hold-up. This is where Yenab is going to deploy everything. You can see ERS mode on mode 3. He's also going defensive against Vexit. He's trying to squeeze him to the outside line. This is going to be better for Yenab if he can hold it. There needs to be no contact on the exit, otherwise it's going to be very clear who's going to get what. But some idiot, sadly, hasn't got enough time gained in order for Yenab to hold Vexit back and allow some idiot back into a battle. This is now Vexit who needs to control this Grand Prix to the end. And we'll see. Yenab's still coming back at him. Is he going to get him? Down the inside here. He's going to try it. You know he has to. He's looking for the move. He just can't quite get... This is... Honestly, the Sportsmanship Award goes to Yenab. He is looking for the teamwork here on some idiot. It is working. That's allowing some idiot to close in that little bit more. But it's costing Yenab so much.
Yep, it is costing him, but you know, as you say, he still needs to pit. He knows that, and there's a big train behind him. He was always going to come out to the back of that train. There's nothing you can do to stop that, so he might as well try and help some idiot as much as he can, while the points are still on the table for the team. So,
I'm trying to understand where Yenab will come out. Obviously, he is on the back of Vexit. Vexit is 12.5 seconds away from Camille, who is our physical race leader. Now, Yenab and Camille both started on the hard compound tyres. So that is something to note. Obviously, Yenab has had a lot of issues throughout this Grand Prix. There is Vexit making a move there on Azir, that is. Obviously, the Azir is a back marker, so he's just hop, skip, and jumping out of the way. Very smart from him. But Zones and Copy, now they are ready to go. Huni doesn't have the DRS. Copy is pretty close. Is he going to be able to touch and go for a send here? Yeah, well, he's going to try it. Round the outside, then into the hairpin. A very good line through. Zones is also trying to capitalize on this as well. This is going to be very awkward for them on the exit because it looks like Copy is through, but Zones is not. So he's going to have to get this done on the home straight. Huni has actually just had a little bit of a scare there, and Zones is up ahead now of Huni. Zones is also looking to see if he can get the move done on Copy. Down the inside towards turn 1. It's going to be tight and tense, and I think he's just about done so. Yes, he has, but Huni's also trying to gain volume in this as well. He's trying to capitalize on Copy because they are still fighting for physical position. Huni has already pit and gone onto these hards to go on to the end of this Grand Prix. Zones is on brand spanking new mediums, which is what it's allowing him to be extra grippy, extra quick coming out of that corner. And Copy already 7/10 back now. I think that fight for wherever Zones ends up has been finished.
Yeah, I think he's going to need to just keep fighting, try and see if he can pull himself up through the field. But in answer to your question about Yenab, I think he'll probably come out just in front of Dennis if he was to pit right now. So way back in 16th position.
And that's a very hit and miss kind of race here for Williams. They've obviously got some idiot who will be P3, or P2 actually, when Camille and Yenab both come in. It's when these medium tyres, which obviously have started to come to life for zones. Copy's also done a similar sort of strategy, but he's done it a bit earlier on, sorry, in this Grand Prix, as Geton has passed Chan now on the circuit. And again, these are fighting for physical win. I'm surprised that Geton is on... Am I reading that right? Geton's on 1 lap old hearts?
You are not reading that right. He is on the 2 lap old now. So he's coming up to 3. This is going to be his 3rd lap on them. And Camille's now in the pits.
How was he... Okay. Alright. Interesting. Alright. Well, I mean, Killer's back out of the pits again on the medium compound tyres and actually slotted in P8. So this is really good for him. But, and this is a huge but, and big buts never lie, he is stuck in traffic because Brownie is obviously in P6, Danico in P7. Brownie is closing in on Chan just slightly. 1.2 seconds is that gap between them. And this is kind of holding Camille back. He's going to start getting desperate. And McLaren want to extend their already existing large lead in the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, there's still plenty of laps left to go though. And as I say, Camille's just came out on those tyres, so he's got plenty of life in them, and he'll be softer compound than the guys in front. So just take his time, and here he goes. First one, Danny, getting done right now.
Hard into the braking zone we go. That is a very smart move from Danico to just let that go. There is no reason to fight back because he knows. Oh, I feel like he's really asking the tyres a lot there, Danico. I mean, he held it perfectly. He's got a really decent exit, but the time lost to Camille is a bit too much now that I don't think he can use the double car's toe to attack back, as Camille is going for a move here on Brownie. Brownie has lost out, and Camille's actually very late into that braking zone. Zone's also on the back of Danico too. Danico did do a pretty good job of fighting off all the people who chased him down earlier. He's now going to have to do it again because Zone's right in his gearbox. DRS wing wide open. He's actually come out of the toe early because he was worried he was going to run into the back of Danico. This is going to be a battle of the brakes. Danico's going to be on the outside. Scary times for Zones because he knows he could get easily rotated. But I think Zones has done enough on those brand new mediums to allow him up to P8 now. And already attacking Brownie.
Yeah, he's doing exactly what he needs to do there. And Brownie's going to have no defence on those hard tyres. Such a pace difference between the two compounds. And somebody there's now in front of Yenab, and Yenab's kind of just let him by. So now somebody can try and hunt down Vexit and hopefully start making inroads on him. But Get Owned here is effectively P3, which is a great return for the McLaren.
Oh, Zones! That's a send! That is a huge send down the inside of Brownie. It's never going to be the optimal run here. He's actually just squeezed Brownie to the edge. He has got the move done. But why now? Why there? You're not going to gain enough to be able to get into the DRS there of Camille, sorry. The only way I think he does that is if he knows, well, it doesn't matter because I'm so much faster than Brownie that I'm just going to pull away regardless. Brownie still has the DRS and the toe, which will help him close in that little bit more. He's obviously not going to be able to fire back, but he might be able to on the home straight as Camille down the inside of Chan now. Chan's getting squeezed off the circuit, getting the same treatment that he gave Brownie. And Camille up to P5. It's looking very good for McLaren again.
Yep, McLaren boys there in effective P3 and P4. As Yenab now comes in and receives a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. That's his day's going from bad to worse now.
Yeah. I mean, looking at the way that he entered the pits, it was like he just forgot he had to brake. He just went in so fast. I said, I'll just take the 5-second penalty, whatever. Yeah, it is what it is. Camille, Chan, they are in a 3-car battle here for the final podium position. I've not seen penalties on any of these drivers, so I don't think that's going to be a factor for them, at least not yet. It might be later if they get one. But Vexit, he's actually being closed down by some idiot.
Yep, so the top runners don't have any penalties to worry about, but yeah, as you say, Vexit is indeed feeling a little bit of pressure now for potentially the first time in this race, as Camille is right onto the back of Get Owned. I imagine Get Owned will let him go. The McLaren team are very adamant that their teamwork is the best in the pit lane, so I'm sure he'll just let him by. He's on the faster tyre, and we'll see what he can make inroads in for the end of this race and get the slipstream and get the DRS, and then just send him on his way.
Yeah, I mean, Get has actually decided, I'll just move over for you. You can have all that extra bit of run that you need, and Get can just slot back in again, get the toe, manages the RS better than normal. But again, the only thing that's really going to be a factor is the hard compound tyre is not that fun to race on.
No, but definitely isn't. There's a huge difference between the compounds. But you know, Camille done that hard work at the beginning of the race when he was on a heavier car. Now, nice light car, softer boots. Everything's coming his way now.
Zones is actually looking for an inside line on Chan here. This is a very grippy Mercedes. He's still on the outside through turn 2. Chan's not going to surrender without a fight. I can guarantee you that. There was a little bit of a touch and go between the two of them. I think, again, it's a no love lost. No real issues for either of the drivers. A bit of a, obviously a colored brown for Chan there. He could have very nearly got rotated completely by Zones. But still, they've kept themselves playing fine, and they're off. Yeah, brownie moment indeed.
And yeah, that was a great move there from Zones. It needed to be done again if he's wanting to try and make any inroads in the McLarens in front of him. So yeah, absolutely needs to just put the foot down. Again, he's on the medium tyres, which are softer than Get-On's hards, so he should have a pace advantage, and won't be long before he's in the DRS zone.
Okie dokie, it's getting to the closing stages of this Grand Prix. We have 8 laps, 9 if you include the one that they're on already, before this Grand Prix is over, and there's still plenty of battles to go. The one I'm very keen on is the one that has not yet properly developed, but is going to develop if they continue at this rate of pace. Summidia closing in on Vexit. It was 2.3 second gap about 2 laps ago, and it's now down to 2.1 as they come through the final corner. There was a moment where it was a little bit less than that, but as soon as Summidia gets into the DRS range of Vexit, Vexit is going to be in a large degree of trouble. I don't see a way out of this for him, as Camille is closing onto him as well. He can't, in fact, having said that, he could use Camille to tow him all the way through.
Yep, I think Camille's going to be the one that challenges Vexit, as he'll be making a move on this lap against somebody and fighting to get himself up to Vexit. I think Camille's won this race. You know, he's in the best position. He's got the softer tyres out of everyone around him. He's got some really good pace, and those tyres are nice and shiny and new. And if he can get out in front, he should be able to just ease himself into the rest of this race.
Now, here's something that we have to consider. They started outside of the top 10, remember? It was Get-Owned who was on the optimal run where he was actually in P11. There is a chance here, and it is a bit of a large gamble, I guess, but there's a chance that we might get a McLaren lockout 1-2, as here comes Camille. Looking for some idiot. That move is done. Get-On is a bit too far back to attack and do the same thing, but he is on the fresher hard compound tyres. The tow and the DRS being available to him means he will be able to close in quite rapidly. Somebody is not going to fight coming into the hairpin, and that is a very smart move, but look how much time that has gained Get-On now.
Yeah, Get-On has got about 7 laps newer tyres than Summidia and Vexit, so they've both came in earlier because of their soft compound tyres, so Get-On should have the tyre advantage, and as soon as Camille's broken the DRS zone from Summidia, should be all fair.
Rainbow Danica into turn 1, it's going to be Rainbow on the outside. Has Danica been rotated? No, he had a bit of a scare though, there was a bit of touch between the two of them, and that has actually allowed Rainbow through.
Disconnected. Danica's disconnected on my screen, so...
Has he? Oh, well, never mind then.
Yeah,
that would explain
big red X, so I think he's backed out, but we'll see if he can get back in.
I didn't see him disconnect, but obviously he has. That is what it is. I mean, it was a shame because he was actually running pretty damn good, to be truthfully honest. He could have easily had that one a really good points position, especially for Racing Point. They could do with that right now. Help get that P2 maybe. I mean, the thing is, there's so many races left in this calendar. But the Constructors doesn't necessarily mean anything, despite the fact that McLaren are looking very good and favoured to win the whole Constructors' Championship. It's still possible that it might switch around, especially if Zones and Vanier can pull a finger out. Zones is obviously very, very quick. And I guess, to be honest, Williams, Renault, Mercedes, they all could do it.
Get-One's making the move here now on Summidia. Somebody just breaks a little bit late and it seems to just let that go, but Zones is right on the back of him now as well, so Get-On needs to get going or Zones is going to take him as well.
Wow. Oh no, if he has a wobble like that, that would have been a definite brownie moment there. 100% on the back now of Summidia. He's obviously not going to close in through the home straight. He's going to have to look to do it in the same place. He's done it on Chan and a few other people. Down the inside to turn 1, and that was as clean and easy as you like.
Yep, and he's right on the back here of Get On, so this now really works in his favour. And on the back straight, he's on softer compound tyres and can... he makes a little bit of a love tap there to Get On, and I don't think he's damaged his wing, but that was a little bit of a scary moment there. And yeah, that's indicative of what's to come on that back straight. You know, he's going to go right up his backside.
Well, Vexit has been caught by Camille. He's not quite in the DRS range from what I can tell. I don't have the telemetry to show me at the minute on the left-hand side, but Zones is...
It is 1.1.
Oh, it's about to go down, let's be honest. We still have 5 laps to go. This is where it's going to be very, very interesting.
Yep, he's now within the 1 second margin, so for the next DRS detection zone, he should be within it.
Zones,
and,
into the braking zone at the hairpin. He's gone down the inside. Sorry to cut you off, but he's actually looking to make one of the McLarens get demoted from a podium position into P4. Zones will have a much better run on the home straight than Get-On does because of the fact that he has the toe and the DRS. But Get-On actually got a really good exit. He might still be able to hold this, but, well, I mean, Zones' traditional signature move into turn 1, looking for the inside. There's the gap. There's the car. He slots it inside. Get-On is closing the door. It's just left open enough to not cause a bother. That is very well defended there from Get-On, but he's surely going to be too little too late because here comes Zones once more round the outside into another hairpin. How are you going to get round the outside of Get-On? Surely it's not going to happen. Get-On squeeze him off the circuit. This is costing him a lot of time, and it's allowing some idiot to get back into this.
Yeah, and this is actually good for Get-On if some idiot starts getting involved, because you know that he's going to have to defend really hard. But if Zones is patient, all he has to do is wait a couple of turns, and then he's got such a long straight to just get on the back of him. But he's going to try and make the move done here after Get-On makes a little bit of a mistake. But Zones has absolutely no ERS left to play with, and he might, yeah, if he just stayed behind there for the detection, which is exactly what he needed to do, and now he should get this move done and be nice and straightforward and easy for him. And he didn't have to go through the heart attack that he's just given himself in that previous lap.
Well, how many pairs of eyes have you got? Because we're going to need a lot. You've got 2 McLarens going for 1 defending, 1 attacking. Camille has taken race lead away from Vexit on the 16-lap-old hards, and I think realistically, Vexit will not be able to retaliate at any point in the remainder of this Grand Prix. Get-On has lost out here to Zones, and Zones is now starting to pull away. So Mercedes, one of them at least, is looking very good. The other one, outside of the points, down in P14, and he's not had a particularly great Chinese Grand Prix. I think the middle of the calendar is where Vanier becomes much better, much faster, much more consistent. And can anybody dethrone the McLaren?
Looking at it right now, I think that there are a few contenders, you know, but their general consistency and strength at the start of the season has just been so impressive. But I would really like to see, you know, the Renaults get up there as Jota just retires. As I'm saying that, that's unfortunate. But I would love to see Renault or Red Bull or someone get up there. Oh my!
Safety car.
3 laps to go.
A safety car with 3 laps to go. If you thought anybody was out of this, bring him back in immediately. Because this is about to be insane. Everyone's going to chuck themselves into the pits more than likely. If you're on the medium compound tires like Camille and Zones are, you're going to be questioning, should I go in or should I stay out? Because there's going to be 1 lap to defend. That's it. And I'm going to have physical position. Because I guarantee you, Vexit's coming in. Get-On might come in. Somebody probably will. Chan probably will. Brownie probably will. Rainbow probably will. Like, everyone's coming. Savso and Higgsy are in and out. They're not going to be able to, obviously, gain anybody, I don't think. Maybe a couple, but they're so far back. I don't know what this is going to cause mental. This is going to be crazy.
No one's came in yet from the front runners. Still no. Let's drop it into Danny. Nope, Danny's also electing to stay out, so no one wants to take the risk. Oh, I say that as then immediately So those on the fringes of the points have decided that, you know, this is the time. This is the time. We're going to try and make this work.
They will be.
They had a gap.
Yeah, well, this is it. But not only have they got the gap, they're going to be on soft compound tires. You can almost guarantee you'd be crazy to go on anything else. Even if you got used softs, just get them on. You know, they're going to be so much faster. And I'm not talking like half a second faster. I'm talking like 1, 2, maybe even 3 seconds a lap faster in comparison to the hards that are worn down, like Sumidia and Chan, for example, 19 laps in. They're going to be sitting ducks. Copy only actually really dropped 1 place there. He was on the back of Danica before. This is massive.
Yeah, this is really spiced this end of the race. What looked like it was going to be a comfortable victory for Camille now looks like he could potentially have to defend from those behind. However, he's lucked out in the sense that no one up until Copy in P11 is actually on the soft compound tyre. So he's got 2 laps where he's going to have to defend for his life. But at the moment, those guys on softs haven't even caught up to the pack. So... yeah. He's got a little bit of time, a little bit of leeway, and he's already known to be faster than those in front. But what this really does work out for is for zones. He can now make a move down on Vexit, and who knows, maybe get on with those fresher hards. Will still be able to make a move on Vexit as well and secure himself that P3. But this is looking like Camille zones get on for the finish.
Now, obviously, we did see, as you can see, a lot of cars on the back straight weaving because they know how important it is to get the temperature back into those tires. Every single one of the soft runners behind will be feeling so good because they were absolutely gunning it on that lap here to bring themselves back up to the back of the pack. Their tires are as toasty as they need them to be. It is all down to Camille, who's decided it's go time. He's wanting to get away as quick as he can. Vexit did not get caught out. Zones! Oh, he's gone into the back of it, but no damage. He's going to get the exit he needs. Vexit is a sitting duck here. Where is Get On in all of this? He's a bit too far back.
Oh. Some idiot with a 3-second penalty there. That's massively cost him.
And the Zun's still looking down the inside of Vexit. He can't quite get the grip he needs. These tyres are a bit too worn. Copy has not got any moves done. Neither has Huni coming into the turn 1. They're going to be holding out for a little while, and it's all going to be on the final lap, almost guaranteed. You're going to see a lot of overtakes on this run into the final 2 corners. That's probably going to be where the action starts, and I can almost guarantee you it's just going to be carnage as Copy is looking for the inside of Vania already. He is so close to him. Huni's also here too. He was actually ready for going down the inside of Copy, but he can't quite get a move done now because he knows how much aerodynamical grip is required here. Copy looking for Vania. This is going to be a lunge down the inside. Have we ever seen Copy on the screen this often? No, because he actually has to do more than just use his big brain. He has to use his driving skill as well. Huni gets the move done on Vania to bring him up into P11. I accidentally just pressed the wrong button, but we're still good. Actually, Huni getting a little bit of a nudge there from Vania. They're going side by side throughout the long right-hander, and that's backfired for Huni. He's outside of the DRS. This is going to be anarchy coming to the end of this Grand Prix as Yonti's looking for Vania.
Yep, and remember, DRS will not be activated again in this race. They need 3 laps before it would activate, so they will not have it.
Oh, he almost went into Huni. Sorry.
Made a big move there, but you know, he's still managing to just get himself on the track, and he's got the move to cut him on Huni. He can get the slipstream again and just try and get on the back of him. But as I was saying, no DRS. This is all going to have to be done with just slipstream and your fresh tyres.
This safety car has really thrown everything into the mix now to make this final lap absolutely insane. Camille, he's very lucky that everyone behind him didn't decide to go into the soft compound tires because they are effectively acting as a brick wall for this man here. Copy, who's going for a move on his teammate. You can almost guarantee that was team orders because he knows the importance that this soft tire compound will have. He also needs to try and hold Huni back, build a bit of space here for Copy to work with, and allow him to run further and further forward. Brownie making a bit of a boo-boo there on the right-hander, which has caused him to slow down a smidgen, allowing Copy and Rainbow to close in a bit more. But Copy might even go for a move early here. Is he going to send it? It's a bit risky. He's having a look down the inside. He realized, nope, my analytical brain cannot process how this works out. Yenab and Yonsi swapping places. They are on the same tyre, remember? And here comes Copy on Rainbow.
Yeah, and there's no defence here really from Rainbow. This should be a really straightforward move from Copy, and he'll hope that he can get the slipstream from those in front as well to try and make a potential move into the braking zone, but it looks like he's just too far back.
Yep. Well, I mean, he's physically in P8 right now, but we have our race leader, Camille. He's coming around the final corner. He will take victory here. He started so far down, but he got it. Vexit will take P2. Zones gets P3. Gets P4. Some idiot P5, but he drops due to the penalty that he got, and he's falling down like a stone to P9. It's Brownie gets P6. Copy P7. Rainbow P8. Some idiot P9. Vania gets the final point in this grid. Holy!
That was some end. Some ending.
That was crazy. Camille, he drove like an absolute machine to achieve what he did. He claimed 12 places. He's the second biggest gainer as the Zones gets 14 places to get himself on the final step of the podium. Zones, I just amazed at how good that race was. He flew up the field there.
Yep, and I think it was Yenab that got the fastest lap that wasn't glitched. So good job for him, but unfortunately he's outside the top 10, so he does not gain that point.
What a Grand Prix. That was absolutely insane. Please, can we have that tomorrow at Mugello and every race going forward? That was it. Oh, amazing. AlphaTauri on the podium here today. They got themselves the apparently race win. That's definitely not right.
Yes, that says it's Higgsy that's won. So something's going on with Higgsy's connection that's completely messing up everything.
I was going to say.
Definitely Camille.
Yeah, so ignore what it says there. Despite where it says Higgsy is, I can assure you that is not the case. It's actually Camille who's the race winner with Vexit P2, Zones P3, Get On P4, Chan P5, Brownie P6, Copy P7, Rainbow P8, some idiot P9 with Vanya getting point 10. Hudi gets best of the rest with Yena P12. P12, Yonti P13, Top Tom P14, Danica P15, Sapso P16, Yolta P17, Dennis DNF. It was Yolta, Dennis, and Azia. All three of them DNF from this Grand Prix. I'm going to ask you, and I genuinely don't even know who I would pick here. Who is your driver of the day?
You know, it's such a tough call. I mean, Zones managed to come up from P17 to finish up there on the podium, P3. I think that was a remarkable race, and as far as I'm aware, he didn't get any penalties. I don't think he had any warnings. I had to look there to see if I could see any. But I would say that Zones, that's a remarkable recovery drive from what was, let's face it, a really disastrous qualifying session for him.
I also think Zones, for the fact of A, he gained the most places, B, he also kept himself completely clean in terms of on-track penalties, and C, because that guy is holding Mercedes on his back right now. He's the closest constructor to the McLarens, who both scored exceptionally well here today. I don't see... Zones needs to somehow help Vania climb back into this. That's ultimately the only way this works out for him, really. But, fair play to them. He's done a very good job to get himself onto the final step of the podium, despite what it says on your screen just there. I promise you, he has actually secured P3. And we will be moving over to a interview with our top 3 drivers. So let's see if I can find them. Let's start with Zones if he's around. He's not in the Mercedes chat. I'll get him a quick ping. If I can find him. There he is. Oh my word. I'm out of breath. Genuinely, I'm out of breath. That was sublime. Absolutely sublime. We will actually skip Zones for now. If he comes on, we'll get him in. Otherwise, we will just quickly go to Vexit, who secured a nice juicy P2.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. That was a very entertaining race.
To say the least. I mean, from my side of things, it looked like you had it completely nailed from the beginning to end. You qualified incredibly well. You went for the soft-hard strategy, which is a very difficult one to pull off on this circuit anyway because of the alternate that the others can do outside the top 10. But there was a point where it looked like he was going to run away with it, and suddenly he got caught up. When that happened, what was going through your mind?
Initially, I was just trying to ensure that I keep calm and not focus too much on the guys behind, but just keep a good pace and try to not get too phased by it. If they got past me, I obviously it would have been annoying if they got the win, but I just wanted to get the best result possible out of that because obviously there were some really fast people behind, like I think Camille, Zones, also get owned who pitted quite late off of the mediums, I believe. So yeah, it was a difficult one to manage, but certainly tested every sort of nerve I had in my body. But yeah, that was a really enjoyable race, most of all.
The safety car coming out at the very end really kind of saved your race a little bit. You had some very fast drivers behind you who were looking to try and close in and pass as quick as possible. But P2 is obviously the best you could have achieved today, and I think overall, fair play. That was a very good display of skill. Now, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe you're now the main driver for Red Bull. Is that correct?
Yes, because oh my god, it's Joe has had his pedals break, I believe.
So I didn't think there was going to be anybody who could answer to McLaren. Suddenly, you and Rainbow look actually pretty damn good to secure massive points in the races. Are you looking to take Constructors' Championship?
Well, for now, at the moment, obviously, the position isn't ideal for the team because McLaren are already nearly at 100 points or something. So it would have to be an almighty effort to actually catch those guys, but we can certainly give it a go. Obviously, there's still a long way to go in the season. I believe 18 more races, and next one being Zandvoort, which is a very nice track for me. So hopefully, we can start a good ascent and get the best possible position in the constructors as possible.
All right. Well, I mean, next week is, I believe, Spain, if I remember correctly.
After, oh wait, is it? There's Hanoi, then
cheat.
China, then it is Zandvoort. Yeah.
I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna double check.
Ah.
I can confirm
it is.
that
It is. Yeah.
Zandvoort.
So Zandvoort, new circuit, obviously the one of two new circuits in the game. Are you feeling confident for Zandvoort?
Very much so. I really enjoy that circuit. It's got a really fast and flowing sort of nature to it, and most of the time I'm able to extract a really good performance out of it, especially in terms of just raw pace. Time management there is a little bit of something I may want to work on, but yeah, certainly a race that I'm definitely going to be looking forward to as one of the highlights of the calendar.
So I'm gonna need you to get ballsy here. I'm gonna ask you very straight up. I need a prediction from you. Where are you finishing next race?
At least a podium.
Oh, I love that fire. I want to see that next week. You better bring me a podium, okay? Otherwise, you've got to do something. I'll think of something there.
I'll do my best.
In all seriousness, congratulations on your P2. A very, very well done performance today. I thought you had it, and you almost did. And we'll see what you can deliver next week in Zandvoort.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, see ya.
See you soon. Right, now let's get in Mr. Race Winner in the first race, Mr. Camille. How are you doing?
Yeah, hello.
So,
I'm doing good.
The first thing I want to point out is it looked like a very intentional decision to not qualify as high up as some of the others did. Now, you got P13, was it?
Yeah, it was. We aimed for P11 and P13, and it worked out. Because I'm really thankful to our drivers, flying with broken two hands and season 4 champion.
I mean, it's amazing. Honestly, your performance today was crazy fast. You know, there was a lot of people who were doubting whether or not you could make it because of the alternate strategy, but it looked to be a very last second, but still well thought out strategy. The safety car came out. Was there a moment of doubt there?
Yeah, I thought I had already gap over P2 like around a bit over a second, and I was just trailing, and it would be easy win. Like I would say on P1, but Citra came out. We didn't know what to do, like to stay out or to pit for stops. But we saw lots of traffic behind us, and we decided to stay out and just get away on lap 1 as there's no DRS yet. And that's what I did.
Well, I mean, regardless, it was a fantastic race from you. You did secure the race win, which is good for McLaren. But I believe your points don't count for you. So, big sad indeed. However, McLaren as a whole have actually done a very good job of being at the very front. So, do you think that McLaren can take this to the end and get the Constructors' Championship? I mean, we are only, 4 races in?
No idea, to be honest. But I think Get On and Tomek are quick enough to easily get it.
Well, I mean, they've got a fair few people that are trying to get it, that's for sure. We'll see whether or not they can achieve it. But congratulations on your race win today. A very, very good run indeed from you. And I look forward to seeing what can be done by McLaren next race.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And that's
maybe
it.
Maybe not see you next week, but yeah. Maybe I will get opportunity again to drive.
Potentially. I know there's some reserve spots available if you should want that, but we'll have to wait and see. However, that is it for the Rwagnation League Grand Prix here in China. It's been an absolute blast to commentate for you. I've been Ben Raggy McConnell. Joining me has been the awesome Mark Hornbadger Meeklehorn. Did I get that right?
Meeklehorn. I like it.
Did I get that right?
That's a nice way. It's Meeklejohn, but yes.
Meeklejohn. Nearly had it. It's because of Hornbadger, whatever. See you next week for Sandbox.
I like it.